Hi, I'm John Stanzi, Madison's dad. On behalf of my wife Laura and I, we'd like to welcome you here tonight. And thank you all for coming and sharing this big day with us, with Maddie and Austin. I'd like to say to Jeff and Teresa Schlager and the entire Schlager family, as Maddie and Austin join today, we are so excited to be able to join our families together. The Schlager family, we've known you guys for a long time, and we're excited to take the next journey with you. I want to take a minute, and hopefully that's the police that got our catering van that was stolen. Take a minute and thank my wife Laura. She has spent hours and tirelessly worked over the past several months. Not just for tonight's event, but for all of the wedding planning. You did a great job, baby. I love you. So we got a little good news, bad news. So the good news is I got a text that told me that I had 2 minutes for my speech. The bad news is I thought it said 20. I'll be brief, but I do have a few things that I want to say. As I thought about tonight, a lot of memories flooded back that demonstrated Madison's quiet strength and determination. I remember from the age she could walk, we'd go to the pumpkin patch, and she'd pick the biggest pumpkin in the pumpkin patch every time, convinced she could carry it out. And as I carried a pumpkin twice her size to the car, she walked beside me, firmly with one hand under the pumpkin. And when we got to the car, she turned to me and said, "See, Dad, I told you I could carry it." We had to move for my job, and I committed to the family that after we got settled, that I'd take them all to Disney World. So 5 minutes after that conversation, Madison comes back in the room with a contract written in crayon for me to sign.
He's going to sit right in. Yeah.
You see, my wife and I raised strong, independent daughters. With a zest for life and a curiosity to explore the world. And I'm glad that we did. But for a father, that comes with worries. And it seems the older that your kids get and the more independent they become, your ability to help them diminishes. And so I don't know when it started, late in high school, maybe in college, but I started sending Madison a random text with these 5 words. Smile. Your dad loves you. And my thought was, no matter where she was, or what she was doing, facing the challenges all young adults do as they make their way through the world, that at least for a minute, it would raise her spirits and remind her that I was still there to help her. And over the years, as I sent that text to her, I guess in the back of my mind, I knew someday that I'd have to pass that role along to someone else. And Austin, I sincerely am so happy that it's you. Austin is a kind, caring, compassionate young man. And when I see the way you talk to her and the way that you look at her and her at you, I know that she's in good hands. But Madison, remember, you're always my little girl, and I'm always there for you. So smile. Your dad loves you. If we could get Laura up front for the next speech, please.
When Austin came to our house last year to ask us for Maddie's hand, I was so overjoyed and impressed with the poise with which he asked us and the emotion in his voice as he explained why he wanted to spend the rest of his life with our daughter. And I thought to myself, well, of course these two should be together forever, because didn't we all always know that they would? I don't say this lightly because, in case you don't know, Madison is our youngest child. She's the baby who wouldn't allow anyone but her mommy to hold her for a very, very long time. She's this toddler who strapped on a backpack and got up early to make sure her kids, as she called her older siblings, got off to school each day and then waited at the door, hands on her hips in her princess dress, and asked them how they did at school. She's the little girl who sang along to every Disney movie, knew a little Motown, and had an opinion from an early age on everything from politics to which car we should buy. Yet she also wore pink and sparkly pretty much every day for most of grade and middle school, maybe in high school too. She's a teenager who, even with her busy social life, still chose to have Mom and Daddy days where we could shop, and get lunch, and binge watch shows with Starbucks and Cold Stone ice cream in hand. And somewhere along the way, my little sugar pie honey bun, if you don't know that reference, you have to up on your Motown, clung to my legs as I walked, grew into this beautiful, smart, loving, with a wee bit of sass for good measure, young lady who I just watched marry the girl of her dreams. So as we agreed that evening to Austin asking our girl to marry him, you have to realize I did not give my approval lightly and without knowing that the young man in front of us was not only intelligent, charming, funny, and very well raised. Thank you very much, Schlager family. Because those were just a few of the things on her list of requirements when she was making her list of requirements for a year. But they each truly loved and adored that little girl I still see and hold in my heart. Because, see, that is what I'm giving my blessing for here today. You, Austin, are now the proud caretaker of a piece of my heart. So care for one another as you would your most vital organ. Love one another. Treat each other well. Protect each other. And most of all, remember that laughter cures even the worst hearted in anger. And always, always hold on to this feeling you have right here today. Always. Okay? And that's what I'm first. So goodbye, honey bun. You know I love you. And all myself.
Okay, we can get Teresa for our next speech, please. Teresa.
Hi, I'm Teresa. I'm Austin's mom. Now I'm his mother-in-law. So happy to have you as part of our family. Austin and Maddie started dating back in high school. Maddie would come over after school, and we were just something Austin could drive, so that we didn't have to cart him back and forth, as Dad used to do. They just would always be so playful. They would just love to watch movies and play games, and it was just really a lot of fun. And they went off to college, and we spent lots of weekends at the zoo with them, watching them grow in their relationship. And then one day, Austin came over to the house and was like, "Do you want to grab dinner?" And we're like, "Sure." We go to dinner, and he goes, "Maddie and I come from Greece." We're like, "Wow, okay, where'd that come from?" And then the next day, I get a phone call that says, "Do you want to meet me at Marodi's?" And I said, "Oh, are we buying a ring?" "No, we're just going to go look." So I said, "Okay." So I said to Austin, "Maybe we should invite your brothers and sisters to come." I said, "Maybe we're buying a ring." And so he said, "Yeah, maybe." So this is like, Marodi's opened at 10. This is 9:30. So I start calling, texting the kids. Every one of them shows up at Marodi's. And Austin goes to pick out Maddie's ring, and he's like, "This is what she likes." And we're like, "Oh no, it needs to be big." So the lady brings out more, and Austin's starting to sweat, because you know him, he's a CPA, so numbers and money are a big deal. He was that kid that you could go to, take him to Quick Trip, and he'd be like, "Mom, this is too much money. We can go to Walmart and get this way cheap." So anyway, so they laid the 3 rings out, and they had us all pick our favorite. Of course, we all agreed on the ring that Maddie has today. So you got a bigger ring than us. Because you deserve it. Anyway, it's like we've always told Austin growing up, because he's like, how do you know when you're in love? It's like, you just know, and when you know, you're ready. And that was awesome. The day that he made that decision to take that leap with you, to marry you, he was ready to do it tomorrow. So it was fun planning your engagement. It was fun watching that complete surprise that you had no idea was coming. That was so important to Austin to make that day so special. And then today, what a special day that your parents have done all this wonderful wedding, all your friends, all your family. It's been a great day for all of us, and we're just so happy to be part of it. So we love you both very much, and we can't wait to see all of our babies that we're going to have. Anyway, and that goes for you guys too. They already have 2, so the next one, somebody needs to bring some Schlager track. Thank you guys all for coming. We're just so happy that everyone can be here and enjoy this day with us.
All right, we're going to need to get Jeff up there next, please.
I didn't know that I had to give a speech today until last week, and I definitely didn't turn it in early because I didn't know what I was going to say. But everybody, the last thing I did not lose my notebook. Kind of short brief. But as I sit down at dinner, my son-in-law points out that I have a pink notebook, and then we started reminiscing. When Austin was born in North Kansas City Hospital, they were out of blue blankets. So they wrapped him in a pink blanket. He was my firstborn. So I sucked it up, I went home, I put on a pink pillow, came back, held him at the hospital as in Simba. What I know is I don't have any doubt John and Laura love those kids as much as Teresa and I do. So tonight, I wore a pink vest. So that's kind of just an afterthought. So we'll start with a real speech. Sometimes I don't know what I have said until I have said it. Fact?
Remember we said it 5 minutes later.
Sometimes I regret it. Some things are good to forget. I am glad my wife forgot the pain of childbirth, as we would not have had 5 wonderful children. It is good Maddie forgot about singing with Austin in high school, a song by Taylor Swift. We are never, ever, ever going to get back together again. Or we would not be here today. We do not all realize it, but we live bonus days every day. Today is one of those biggest bonus days of our lives. We are going to get to party! And celebrate the union of these 2 people with God to be one. But we know there will be times the bonus days are harder to get through, sometimes because of mistakes, differences of opinion, or sometimes no good reason. There will be times that we will have to forgive each other so we can have more bonus days. One has to forgive to be forgiven. So I can tell the passion and love you have for each other, that if you need, you can forgive and be forgiven. So may all your days be blessed. Big bonus days.
All right, next we're going to have Jess come on down and give a speech for us.
sister by 7 years, but growing up, Josh and I quickly found out who was in charge. That was her. Ever since she was a little girl, she's always been a little, everything Maddie's way, ever since she was a tiny little toddler. And just seeing her now, her and Schlager, or Austin, as I learned earlier, because we can't call him Schlager. Yeah, it's crazy surreal. Like, everyone said these two have been together since they were 15. We have considered Austin a part of our family ever since. And it's just amazing. And it's kind of hard just like looking at Maddie now, and all I see is just this little tiny girl that would like literally just disappear into her room for hours at a time. And we'd always wonder what she was doing. And she was going through every single article of clothing that she owned and trying everything on, matched, mismatched, and she'd come out and show us, and then she'd disappear again. And she would have everything out of her closet, and just over and over until she found the perfect one. That's how detail-oriented she was from a very tiny age. You know, and one of my favorite memories of Maddie is that when we were younger, our brother Josh and I would always sit in front of our Nintendo 64 and we'd play video games for hours. And we'd play Mario Kart. And here would come Maddie at the age of like 4 or 5, and she would beg Josh to let her sit and play with us. And after a while, Josh relentlessly gave in. He was like, okay, fine. So he gave her a controller. And sweet Maddie, for years to come, was just thrilled and always thought she was winning those races. She didn't find out until she was nearly an adult that that remote controller was never needed. So all those years, she was just so driven and so motivated and passionate. And years down the road, she found out, and she still gets upset thinking about all that time she spent beating us, that she would rub in our faces, only to find out, nope, sorry. You know, I just want to say that I am so happy for the both of you, being able to watch you guys grow as a couple over the past almost 10 years. You know, you're an inspiration to me and Taylor as well. And my best wish for you guys is just to continue to make each other laugh until your sides hurt. And put up with Austin to the zoo love.
Let's welcome Becca up next.
I'm Becca. I am Maddie's cousin. For as long as I can remember, Maddie was like an older sister to me. She was that far off cousin that lived in Smithville that I had no idea what it was, but it was always a huge treat when we got to see each other, and it was a huge gossip session about Maddie and Austin. It was catching up on the latest really swift revenge drama that we had to sing our hearts out about, and eat ice cream and watch Princess movies, and hope for the best. I think from the beginning we all knew that Maddie and Austin had something special. You guys inspire all of us with your love story, and every day you bring out the best in each other. And I only hope you continue to do that. And you guys have an amazing life together. And I'm so happy for both of you.
All right, our main angel's next.
Alright, is this going? Okay, hi everyone. For those of you who don't know me, my name's Andrew, and as you can tell from looking us tonight, I am referred to as the funny brother. So I'd like to go ahead and forewarn everyone that part of the speech is good and the other half isn't. Just know that half of this was written sober. Now, before I begin, I'd like to thank a couple people that helped make this whole entire thing possible. First off, I'd like to thank my mom for getting pregnant. Again and again. So awesome to be here. and for getting pregnant again and again, so I could be here to stand with my best friend on his wedding day and finally claim that I am indeed the best man. Oh, and well, Laura, thank you for getting pregnant too. Oh, and shout out to my dad and John. And thank you to everyone on the bridal party who came here to celebrate this beautiful union of two people, and for helping us not let Austin drown at his bachelor party. Now let's get down to business. You see, there comes a time in everyone's life where they meet someone they love, someone they have an instant connection with, someone they care for, someone that they're always going to watch out for. That moment happened for Austin 21 years ago when he met me. Now, Austin, I know you're probably sorry to pull over. Really should just read off my phone. So over the years, my mom has always tried to justify her insanity of having a fifth kid, always claiming that she wanted a little brother for Austin. And growing up, personally, I was always jealous that Austin had a little brother and I didn't. But with age, I came to a realization. I was given the better end of the bargain. I would not be the man I am today if it weren't for Austin. He's always pushed me to be the best version of myself, whether it be coaching my rec basketball team, us working out together, warning me about getting MIPs in high school, telling me to get involved on campus, or one of the most important / fun ones, allowing me to impersonate him at the bars in Columbia for the past 3 years. Another reason why I'm so blessed to have Austin as my older brother is that he has such high expectations of himself. He graduated with honors, passed the CPA exams on his first try, and a lot more stuff I'm not going to get into. And honestly, you set the bar so high that this is a game of limbo that I can't lose. And one of the biggest moments that truly made me realize how special my brother is was whenever I was a freshman at Mizzou in my first semester, rushing Alpha Kappa Psi, and hearing how highly people spoke of him and how much respect they had for him. In that moment, and all of my prior moments, all of my feelings toward you were reinforced. And any time that I say that I'm your little brother, I beam with pride. Now, Austin, I know you're probably expecting me to roast you during the speech, but honestly, there really isn't that much I can roast you for, other than you single-handedly funding margaritas or fish wash. I guess it's hard to find something to roast you about, since I've always looked up to you. And speaking of motivation, I think that's one of the reasons why I've come to love Maddie so much. For those of you who don't know Maddie, she's more than just beautiful on the inside and out. She's incredibly intelligent and driven. And since most of you know Maddie, I'm not going to take the time to read off her resume because that would take way too long. So I'll just mention that she's a genius, graduated with honors. Awesome. And now I'm going to rewind a little bit back to my summer leading into my freshman year at Mizzou, when my dad sat me down and gave me a very, very serious heart-to-heart. Sat me down and told me, son, if you're pulling a 3-0, you're probably partying too much. If you get a 4-0, you're probably not partying enough. And it sounds kind of crazy, but my dad was trying to get a point across. You can't be happy if you can't take a step back and enjoy yourself. And after a few sober driving experiences or drunken Snapchats from Austin of the Mimosa Girls performing Taylor Swift concerts, Maddie clearly knows how to let loose and relax. And this is one of the most important messages I want to get across. To quote the renowned street poet, Wiz Khalifa, work hard, play hard. Don't take life too seriously. You'll never make it out alive. Now, I know what you're all thinking. I'm 21 years old. I've got no right to be giving out marriage advice. But I'll tell you what. I have a Facebook. And on Facebook, I found a story. In a small village, a boy lived with his mother and father. The parents of the little boy were depressed because their son had such a bad temper. He would lash out at anyone who crossed his path and would call them awful words. His mother and father advised him many times to control his anger and develop kindness, but unfortunately, all of their attempts failed. Finally, the boy's father came up with an idea. His father gave him a huge bag of nails and asked his son to hammer one nail into the fence every time he became angry and lost his temper. The little boy found it amusing and accepted the task. On the first day, he hammered 30 nails into the post. After the next few days, he nailed half as many. The little boy found it very difficult to hammer the nails and decided one day to control his temper. The day arrived when no nails were hammered. Now, his father told him to remove the nails each time the boy controlled his anger. Several days passed, and the boy was able to pull out most of the nails from the fence. However, there remained a few that couldn't be pulled out. The father took the son up to the fence and asked, "What do you see there?" And the boy replied, "A hole in the fence." He told the boy, "The nails were your bad temper, and they were hammered on people. You can remove the nails, but the holes in the fence will remain. The fence will never look the same, and it has scars all over it. Some nails can't even be pulled out." The point I'm trying to make is that when you and Maddie get upset with each other in the future, remember not to say anything you would regret. Because once you say it, regardless of how many times you apologize, there will always be that hole. Awesome, Maddie. May your marriage be filled with love, laughter, and margaritas. Now, no pressure, but it'd be really cool to have a nephew for tailgate season.
All right, I think we're going to have the couple say a few words. Before that, I think we're going to have a toast there.
Clearly, I'm opinionated, so I had to say something. Austin and I would just like to thank everybody for coming today. We're so lucky to be celebrating with each and every one of you. I would personally like to thank my mom for everything she's done today to make it possible and to be my own personal wedding planner, travel agent, therapist, all the above. They've gone above and beyond, and I'm so grateful for you. And Dad, thank you for being there for Mom. And I'm so grateful for you too. I'm so grateful for the Schlager family and Jeff and Teresa for being so welcoming for all these years. Whether Austin and I were together or not, we're always welcoming to me. Thank you to our wedding party and everyone who touched or enjoyed this day. We're so lucky to have all of you. And to my now husband. Thank you for loving me. You are everything that I ever dreamed of and so much more.
Well, I don't have anything else to say except for cheers to the couple. All right, guys, we're going to do a few songs.